with the Green Berets. We're fighting the same enemy here. Objective points are marked.
Mick Fraser, it's been a long, long time since we had a good old chat over a bit of a video, mate, hasn't it?
It has been a while, yes. I've been away.
You
I'm
have
back.
been away, but I'd like to think that it's something special that's brought us back together because you've been playing, in Europe anyway, a Nintendo-published game by Mr. Itagaki. I'm never going to get that right. I probably pronounced it wrong. But the just short version is you're playing Devil's Third, and we're going to talk about it in a preview sense. Preview, okay?
Okie doke.
What's it all about, Mick? I don't know anything about this game. Tell me.
Neither
tell
do
me.
I, and I've been playing it. So. Okay, Devil's Third is, from what I can work out, it's something to do with bad guys trying to take over the world and heroes trying to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about as far as I've really managed to understand. It's quite generic and a little bit rubbish, if I'm perfectly honest, so far.
Okay, so for those who don't know, I do actually know one thing about it. It's a third-person shooter, but when you go to shoot, it goes into a first-person shooter. Now,
yeah, a really bad one as well.
Well, that's the thing. I've watched you play this, and the cover mechanic seems peculiar because you go into cover in third person,
Sometimes.
and then as soon as you aim, you go into first person, which obviously takes you out of cover.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. So, okay, yeah, it's a third-person action game / shooter / melee game. It's a very poor man's version of, well, pretty much just about any other game. It's a poor man's version of it. It's like, yeah, you play this horrible, I don't know, caricature of video game heroes called Ivan, who you will have seen, listeners will have seen in the video. This guy running around with all the tattoos on his body, and the bald head and the Russian accent, and he smokes literally every time. Huh?
Topless as well.
Oh yeah, I was topless all the way through. Never wears anything. And every time you go up against a wall into cover, he gets a cigarette out and lights it. He must light 50, 60 cigarettes a minute. But yeah, it's terrible. He's awful. He's an awful. I don't know what they're trying to appeal to with him. But anyway, yeah. So you play him and you run around and so far.
Hang on. Does it think it's Vanquish then? Because Vanquish did the cigarette thing, didn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, I guess it's probably a poor man's Vanquish as well. Then it's a poor man's Wet. I mean, if you can get a poor man's Wet, it is a poor man's Wet. But yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it has a few, I want to say, good ideas, but they're not really good ideas. But there's a few things like that. Yeah. So the cover mechanic is, they wanted to introduce a cover mechanic, but then also make it a first-person shooter. So yeah, you go into cover sometimes, not always. Sometimes he'll put himself into cover. Sometimes he'll just stand by a wall. There's no real context for it. And yeah, when you hold the left trigger down, he pops up and looks directly down the iron sight. I mean, they're locked to the middle of the screen.
So, hang on, I'm not being funny, right? Why does it need to do both? Why can't it be a third-person shooter or a first-person? Why doesn't it? What is that? I mean, is that the hook? Is that the thing that they're like, look at this? Because I don't get that.
I truly hope not, because I mean, if that's their hook, Christ, the whole thing's bad. I mean, it's not just that. I mean, it's very badly put together. I mean, everybody sort of is probably everyone's not aware, but if you're not aware, this was part of the, I'm going to be honest and say the THQ shit pile. Which was left over. This is part of the slush pile of games that nobody wanted when THQ sadly closed.
Right.
And it kind of should have been left where it was, because it's got no place whatsoever. I mean, whether there's an argument or not against the Wii U being next gen or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't even belong on the Wii U. It doesn't belong on the PS2. It's an awful game.
But based on a couple of hours at the start, we should say. I mean,
I must be honest, I've only played probably 3.5 hours worth. So I don't know how long
time.
I don't know how long the game is yet. I mean, it could suddenly become massively better. I don't know, but right now,
core mechanics aren't probably going to change too much. But we don't want to stray too far into reviews territory.
No,
because this is a preview, obviously. I don't know. I mean, you know, come back to God is a Geek at some point soon because there'll be more on the game, I'm sure. And, you know, tell us what you think in the comment section below. Tell us, you know, what you think of what you're seeing. And tweet Mick at Jedi_beats_tank. Have I got that right?
That's right, yeah. I will say one positive thing.
Good, please do.
There is one positive thing. And I don't know how positive it is, but you can build up a little super meter in it by murdering people. And some of the kills are quite brutal and I must be honest, quite satisfying in that kind of cathartic murder everybody kind of way. And Ivan's tattoos will glow, and then you can unleash like a little burst of super energy and stuff. And it's not original, it's not particularly amazing, but it does elevate it just a little bit into the realms of enjoyable B-movie type. So I'm hoping that this is going to be one of those games that by the time you're through the end of it, you think, that was actually enjoyable. You know, they're so good it's bad cliche.
Yeah,
I think we might be seeing this generation's number one so bad it's quite enjoyable game, maybe.
Okay, on that note, make sure if you have seen this video elsewhere to go to youtube.com/GodIsAGeek. As we said, you can follow Mick and myself at GBusF, at God is a Geek for the website, and yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment what you think. Thanks to Mick for his time.
No problemo.
And we'll see you in the next video.